Ready? रुको हाँ ठीक है start. So once again welcome to all the viewers of the MTI U Learning channel, Learning at MTI. It is my honor and privilege to have with me a doyen of the steel industry, somebody who is head of the coke ovens of Bhilai for many years, and he's also been the overall head of works before he retired. Somebody who has spent a major part of his life working on different aspects of coke making and has got specialized training in coke making not only in India but also in abroad in US. And I thought it is an appropriate moment for us to catch him. He had come here for a Leo workshop to get some insights from him in very small time about how do you maintain the productivity and health of a coke oven. Sir, what we are trying to understand is for a practicing manager who has been given the charge of a top recovery oven, heating, maintenance, and repair, cold and hot repair, that kind of thing. So, could you give us some pointers on what should the manager really take care of?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sanjay. Coke ovens operations, coke oven heating, coke oven repairs, these are all aimed at a good coke quality, a good life of the battery, and for that we have to maintain and follow some rules also.
Right.
That rules are basically when you have a battery running battery, you will have to operate the battery with discipline.
Right.
Now the word discipline is very huge,
Right.
in sense of
What
actions.
Yeah.
So basically to minimize the air ingress during the door opening time. So you have to minimize the door opening time of the ovens. Very first thing. Then no undercharging of the ovens unless and it is required for some small repairs of the oven. Then you have to follow some good practices also. That is pushing regularity index. That is you can say a plus minus 10 minutes of from schedule time.
Right.
Then charging regularity index, so that ovens should not be empty for a longer time.
Right.
That will burn out. You have to have a proper recordings of the pushing and charging time.
Right.
Pushing and charging times. And this will give a help in calculating the cooking pressure properly.
Okay.
And PRI and CRI,
Right.
we have talked just now, that is pushing regularity index, will give a operational discipline.
Right.
And about the heating, all the gas passages and equipments, including refractory passages as well as heating equipment, that should be maintained in a good condition.
Right.
And there are ways to maintain it by cleaning, regular checking, and replacing the faulty and repairing the faulty areas.
Right.
So that will ensure a very laminar flow of gas and air and waste gases, so that the total heat transfer will be there and proper burning of gas in the vertical fluid. The specific consumption of the battery is envisaged by the designers.
Right.
So you have to follow that figure we have to achieve. And for that, you have to do small jobs like a routine maintenance.
Right.
Routine maintenance is a thing which saves the battery from premature failures. These routine maintenance are basically to stop the ingress of air inside the battery, and that way your spoiling of the ovens and repair premature failure of the refractory will be prevented.
Sir, I just wanted to understand more in terms of routine maintenance. Let's say you're looking at maintenance, and or even in terms of CRI and PRI. What is the way of ensuring that people actually follow it? Any mechanism of making sure that people follow this? Any organization which has kind of made it?
Yes, there are now recent new batteries are coming up, and they have facilities of recording these pushing charging times.
Right.
So that way you can call, you can definitely monitor the PRI,
Right.
and you can definitely put some stakes or competition among the ships, among the total brigades working in the three ships to achieve a better PRI and award them.
Okay. So you're saying we can link that to the KP?
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. And in terms of accountability for routine maintenance, I mean, normally what is seen is that, if operators are more bothered about operation, who is accountable for the routine maintenance?
Now, for basically the oven door opening, the operators and their in charges in a ship, they are the responsible.
Right.
So you have to convince them to happen if you keep the doors open for more time and unnecessarily open for process requirement, the door opening is required, but unnecessary opening has to be that is to be minimized.
Right.
And similarly, for the routine maintenance, ingress of air inside the battery has to be stopped. That will prolong the life of the battery to your desired level, so that you can operate the battery economically viable in condition till say 15 years.
Fine.
Till say 15 years. And there are that 2% or 3%, whatever your size of the battery may be. So that should be there permanently.
Okay. So they should be accountable.
Their name should be attached with the battery.
Right.
These three people, they are maintaining the battery.
Right.
Okay, so that their accountability will be there, and that will ensure they will take the pride in doing their job.
Right.
And it is visible, so that work is visible.
So I believe this will also take care of the issue of avoiding part repairs.
Yeah. Definitely, Sanjay. Once upon a time, the part repair of heating walls was practiced. Some 8 verticals up to 4 to 6 verticals used to be repaired to get the production.
Right.
But nowadays, the environmental requirements are total change.
Right.
And the joint, which if you make that joint any good, still there will be a leakage of cross leakage from the oven to the chamber, heating chamber, and that to the chimney. Right. And that is not allowed. That is not allowed.
So from environmental concerns also, it is not feasible.
Yes. So the part repairs of the ovens is not advisable in this today's condition. Right. But we should go for the full wall repair.
Right.
So this full wall repairs, again, investment is huge. Your production is lowered for taking up the repairs.
Right.
So you should have a good life of the battery before taking the
full wall repair.
And for that, these routine jobs, this scheduled job, anchorage checking, refractory condition checking, heating equipment healthiness has to be maintained through routine jobs.
Suppose a plant does not have enough coking capacity to really take a complete battery down. Is it possible to do full wall repair?
Yes.
On a running machine?
Yes, you can do it. because number of units, the batteries available with the plant, if they are less and your productions are not, production figures are not allowing you to stop the battery, then you can assess when to start this full wall repair in a running battery.
Okay.
So only 5 ones will be down at a time, and one wall will be made. So like this will go on, and it takes around 2 years to 2.5 years
Okay.
to complete the battery. And this model is available for in the Vizag.
Okay. This model is available in Vizag.
Yeah. Vizag, they are done, and their life of the battery now is 31 years, and that is still running.
So another important issue that comes in the health of a battery is the health of the refractory. And again, it linked with the heating regime, from what I understand. So what are the norms that people should follow in terms of the heating regime in order to maintain the health of the battery, the refractory in the battery?
Sanjay, basically maintaining a heating regime by a heating people is governed by refractory and operation. So condition of refractory is basically to have a good and smooth passage of the gas and air and waste gas in laminar flow.
Right.
The obstructions in this path should be cleared.
Right.
And then operation.
Right.
Again, the own door opening like this,
Right.
and the heating has to ensure a temperature of 1100 degrees centigrade in the end verticals.
In the end vertical.
Because the end verticals, which are very prone to the outside air, will get colder.
Right.
And you know, when we charge the battery with a coal for coke making, the steam temperature of the ovens that goes down by 300 degrees centigrade. So basically, this figure has come that if you keep that 1100 degrees centigrade temperature at the end vertical, the wall will cool down to around 800.
Right.
And that is a critical temperature. Below that, the spalling and cracking of the refractories will be there. So all the batteries, they start their repairs, rather they deteriorate from the end verticals.
And sir, in terms of, let's say, charging, coming to the issue of charging, I mean, what kind of charging practices should we follow? Especially in terms of the, does the coal charge have any?
Yes, because see, there are total, as I always say, that there are 5 things which goes inside the coal chamber once battery starts.
Right.
That is coal, then heat, then air, pusher ram, and leveler.
Right.
Okay. So then these 2 things, which are mechanical things, can be checked outside.
Right.
Rather, should be checked outside periodically. Their straightness, there anything only this equipment, but there's track also.
Right.
Because the ram and level bar goes inside the one 16 meter or 14 meters.
Right.
So there will be a total looping.
Right.
There may be looping. So your tracks must be very
properly maintained.
There is any difference between these tracks will damage the oven soles or tops. So these 2 things, air ingress, you have to minimize. I already talked.
Yes.
Heat input, yes, we have to maintain that heat input as per the specific consumptions of the design, and for that, routine jobs have to be done.
Right.
About coal.
Right.
Coal, we are charging a cold coal, rather moisture we are adding to it if required. And this coal, when it is charged in the coal tower bunkers, so there is a phenomena of segregation of the coarser particles towards the edge.
Right.
And you draw the coal from the charging car. Again, you are charging in the ovens. If the oven is taller, then again the segregation will be more towards the ends. And these segregated particles, they require a more heat to get cooked.
Right. Right.
They get more heat, they require more heat to because their qualities also, their ash percentage, these are all higher side from the well crushed coal.
Okay.
So there is one figure near about that plus 6 millimeter should be size should be below 7%. And while crushing the coal to get this figure, your microphone should not also go up. That is 0.5 millimeter should be around 38 to 40. Otherwise, your choking of GCM and other further in the CCD will be a problem.
And you want laminar flows for that, those should be completed.
Yeah. Because that much amount of dust has to be handled.
So from what I gather from you, in terms of very quick pointers towards what are the things that, some basics that people should take care of, it is about managing those 5 things that go into an oven. One is air. So air ingress is to be minimized to the extent possible. Although some design does provide for some opening, it has to be done. It's an operation requirement. Ensuring the proper alignment and condition of the mechanical equipment that goes inside the oven. So that is the second part.
And their track.
And the track, because the track has a bearing on how well
on
the mechanical
yes,
is aligned.
Looping things to all these things.
All those things don't happen, and otherwise it will cause damage to the battery. Then we talked about the proper charging in terms of ensuring that a proper charge is given, undercharging is not done.
No.
Then in terms of maintaining the proper timings for ensuring that the PRI and CRI are maintained.
Basically deviation from the cooking period.
Cooking period, theoretical, which is demanded. From that, there should not be any deviation. The more we can stick to closer to that, the better will be the health. And again, routine maintenance of the battery should be done regularly, and somebody should be made accountable so that we are able to prolong the effective life of the battery and take timely cold repairs or full wall repairs around 15 years. We should be able to run the battery properly without any part repairs for at least 15 years, and then we can go for another 15 years, from what I understand from you. We should ensure the laminar flow of gases, and by ensuring proper flow of gases in the heating regime, for which again we need to properly maintain the heating equipment and the refractory. And again, for refractory management, again we realize that what you need to do is ensure that proper temperature is maintained, so that the end wall temperature doesn't come below 1100 degree. Because at the time of charging it will drop, and if it drops too much, then spalling of refractory will happen. And you also mentioned that a very important part is the input in terms of raw coal that goes into the battery, and there the granulometry, the size distribution of the coal should also be maintained properly, and we should ensure that plus 6 millimeter is not more than 7%, and we should also ensure that microphones at the same time, we should not go the other way. Microphones should not be more than 40%. You said 30 to 40% is an appropriate value. And what you also mentioned that if we are able to take care of all these things, we should be able to prolong the life of the battery. And you also gave us a very interesting insight that if it is not possible for some reason to take a battery completely down, full wall repair can also be done in a running battery, which RINL has done, where you take 5 ovens at a time. It may take longer, but you are never getting out of production. So it takes around 2 years to do that systematically in a battery. And I think with these kind of options, you can actually keep a battery running much more longer and much more productively. So once again, thank you very much, sir, for sharing those insights. And I'm sure that all the viewers of our channel and people working in coke ovens will benefit significantly.
Thank
you, sir.
Thank you.